Changing the world one family at a time and fighting heart disease and stroke. This guy's working hard to make it all happen. Who is he? You'll meet him coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Myrtle Beach Herald. We're focused on the 13th annual American Heart Walk to be held at Broadway at the Beach on October 16th, and we're visiting with Jim Wiseman, the sponsorship chairman of the walk. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Greg. How you doing?
Thank you so much for coming in. It's so exciting to think we're a month away from the walk.
Oh, it's very exciting. We're ready to go. We're excited to have it at Broadway at the Beach this year. It's going to be great. Don't have to worry so much about weather. We're just real excited.
And that location, you're right. You don't have to worry about weather. Down on the beach, if it rains, I mean, you can't trudge along there. With Broadway, you can walk pretty well sheltered throughout.
Exactly. And we've just completed the loop all the way around Lake Broadway, so it's going to be a great venue to do the walk.
I think I saw Tammy Eve said the other day there's going to be one loop around inside and then one loop around the perimeter and then come back in for a loop around inside.
Right, for a total of 3 miles. So it's going to be a great walk.
How about that early kickoff at 8:30, the thing at Ripley's?
That'll be super. What Ripley's really stepped up and want people to see the aquarium, and if they don't want to be outside in the heat, they can be in air conditioning and see the great venue they've got on the inside.
Oh, yeah. And it was like a $10 donation to have that opportunity to be there for an hour before they open up, and they get a free T-shirt and donuts provided by Krispy Kreme.
Oh, it's a great deal. It's a great
incredible.
Deal. And Ripley's really stepped up on that.
They did. Speaking of stepping up, how about Margaritaville?
They've done fantastic. It was a rush to get them open this year, but I think everybody's glad they're open now. They've just done fantastically since they've been open, and they are a great corporate citizen for Myrtle Beach. They welcomed us with open arms as far as the Heart Walk. Gave us a couple of lunches in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Now are donating 10% of their business from that day to the Heart Association, so they really stepped up as well.
Absolutely, and the lunch this week, with out at Margaritaville, another big pump up. It's incredible. They constantly are giving, of course, that day of the walk to do 10% of their gross sales from sign on to sign off. I mean, think about folks at Margaritaville at midnight.
Yeah.
I mean, 10% of all those margaritas is not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad on a Saturday night, the height of a good fall season. Jim, real quick about yourself. Were you originally from the area?
Actually, I'm from more of the upstate in South Carolina, a place called Newberry.
Oh, really? Newberry?
Right above Columbia.
Where the college is?
Yes, exactly.
That's off of one of the main interstates.
It's right close to I-26. Yes.
Okay.
Between Columbia and Greenville.
Now, did you live much of your life in that area, or?
Most of my life in that area. I was born and raised there. My grandfather was in the hotel business in Newberry right after the Depression, and my dad was a dentist there.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, what got you involved in development? Was it your grandfather's influence from early on?
No, it was a long and winding road, as most of us have. I graduated South Carolina in engineering, came out and worked for Duke Power in Charlotte, and then came back and worked for a friend of mine in the construction business, and it just kind of grew from there. We ended up doing some retail projects and just took one step at a time towards building things.
Now, were most of those retail projects in the Palmetto State, or?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Of course, I think I saw that you were a development and construction consultant for about 12, 13 years, mid-'80s to mid-'90s.
Exactly. That was a good time of growth, and of course, that gave me a lot and did some things down here.
Do you have family with you here in the area, Jim?
I do. We've moved here about 2 years ago. I have a daughter and a son. Both of them are out of the house now, so my daughter recently got married and is living out in Oklahoma, and my son goes to USC in engineering as well, so he's following in the footsteps.
I think I remember that one of your children is interested in law school, Jim.
That's my daughter, and she is actually at the University of Oklahoma right now.
In law school?
Trying to get in law school.
Oh, yeah, trying to get in,
yes, yeah. She's in a master's program there now.
How exciting. Law school is such a big deal. And
very big deal.
Attending school, and so your son's soon to finish college? And
yes.
That's very exciting. Now, what exactly brought you down to Myrtle Beach?
Burroughs and Chapin. It was a fantastic opportunity to join a great company like that with such great history down here, as well as a great focus on the future. You know, what is Myrtle Beach going to be, and as well, what can they transport that they've done in Myrtle Beach to other areas of the country. So it presented a wonderful opportunity for me.
In so many areas y'all go into, you really find a lot of local support. I mean, y'all make sure that the community's welcoming you with open arms, I guess, before you come in.
Well, a lot depends on the community, and we try to go places where we want it, and that's a big part of the process, is going places where the demand's there and the community is pro-development.
Development's so fascinating when you're trying to make decisions to where to go. I mean, and obviously that aspect, and that made me think earlier this morning. As obviously our big focus is the Heart Walk, the 8:30, the registration out there, and surely the big kickoff at 10. But even the mini walk there, I think they talked about it's the first underwater walk in the world, Heart Walk in the world.
Probably is.
Yeah, Heart Walk,
and to be able to see
all the sharks,
all the stuff, is just great.
There at Ripley's, which is incredible. When we think about development, as I was thinking about earlier this morning, trying to prep, thinking about Jim Wiseman, developer, just the involvement in the development itself. I was thinking maybe you could picture that our viewers are like high school students, like let's say a high school class, 11th graders. If you could just give an idea of how a development works, or a single project, is there an example of a project that someone would feel comfortable you talking about beginning to end?
Well, I think Margaritaville is certainly an unusual project, but because it ties into the Heart Walk, I mean, it wouldn't be something you'd do every day. They only have 4 of them in the country and a couple of them overseas. But Margaritaville is a good example of what you have to go through. We work very closely with the city, in this case, City of Myrtle Beach, in obtaining permits and plans in the beginning. Of course, you have to have a tenant, and we negotiated with Margaritaville. They were very interested in Myrtle Beach. They have one in Las Vegas and Orlando. So that should make us feel good here in Myrtle Beach that we have that kind of demographic that they're interested in. So that it all begins with negotiations with a tenant. Of course, Broadway has national appeal throughout the retail business, has been a very successful project. They came in, we negotiated a deal. Then you have to start doing the hard work, all the plans and getting the permits through the city, working very carefully with architects and engineers to get those plans done. And in this case, we had a very short time frame to do that, and we're able to pull it off. We actually built Margaritaville in 90 days.
Oh, come on.
Which was very unusual.
That place? The place is incredible.
Very unusual. Very unusual.
Wait. In 90 days. Come on.
Actually, from the time we broke ground until the day they opened was 90 days. Again, very unusual.
Yeah, breakneck speed.
We would never do that again. But they needed to get in for the summer traffic, and so we opened on July 18th, I believe it was.
And they have tonned it.
Yeah. They've done very well. But it's I relate development as to making sausages. You don't actually want to see it being done, but when it comes out, it's a good product. So it's Margaritaville and that whole area of Broadway actually completes the development of the loop around Lake Broadway. So it's going to be a great project, we feel like. And as far as the development side of it, there's a lot of things that go into it. You have the contractors, and you have everything you need to watch after, the banks that help you finance the things, and so it takes money, as we are going to see in the Heart Walk. We're looking for money, and that's what drives everything, and certainly that drives development. Being able to have that successful project. Speaking
of looking for money, how have you all been doing on the sponsorship fundraising there, Jim? I know obviously we got a $200,000 total goal, $70,000 or more. I think you're incentivized to hit a little more than that as our sponsorship goal. Share with the viewers a little about the goal and how we're heading and why you may want to beat that. Right.
Our goal is $70,000 in the sponsorship area. We're at $60,000 now. Feel confident that we were going to break $70,000 without a question, and really need to come in at 75 or above.
Yeah, listen to that. Now that's the magic number. I think I heard there was a guy last year, he and Susan Cohen, who hit 74,000. Who's that guy, and why do you want to beat it?
Well, that's Doug Wendell, our CEO and president of Birds and Chapin, and certainly we're in a competitive environment, and we are always taught by him to do better the next time. So it's something that we in a friendly kind of way, need to get above 75.
Maybe he'll help push you over the. That's right.
I'm sure he will. He's always a big help.
Yeah, very definitely. That's exciting. What's that like working for a family-owned company, Jim?
It's the best of both worlds. The capital is there. Burrs and Chapin is a well-financed company, which talking about money, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
But it's a very nurturing environment too. They are a family-owned business. They care about the employees, and I think that's what's so good about being there. We're not worried about quarterly reports to Wall Street and those kind of things that drive a lot of companies. They do have a long-term view and are willing to take risk and grow the area. They're a very good corporate citizen, and that appealed to me coming here, that they do care about the community and their employers.
Mm-hmm. I think it's family values since 1895.
It is. And our new slogan is changing the world one family at a time. So it's not only about making money, it's how you can really change people's lives.
Changing the world one family at a time. Now, is that one that y'all are open up? Obviously, you're open now in Carolina People at 7 on a Thursday, but changing the world one family at a time.
Right.
That is exciting. What a great commitment to family amusement parks.
Exactly.
And
and doing it in a safe environment that just uplifts everybody we try to do business with, our customers as well as other people.
You all have this amazing, I was there last night and trying to prepare for this morning, MyrtleBeachTrips.com. A, what a great name, and
right.
B, at MyrtleBeachTrips.com. There are a ton of these segues to other, but of course you all support a lot of folks who are on y'all's land, but a lot of different things y'all are involved with. I just clicked in last night to Grand Dunes, just going through that about some condos on the ocean. They start with numbers that are like 7 numbers there. I mean, I can't figure it out. This is in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Exactly, and that's part of the vision of the company. I mean, people don't know Grand Dunes was envisioned over 20 years ago, and
really?
now it's coming to fruition. But without that long-range vision and long-range commitment, things like Grand Dunes don't happen. But it takes that vision to do that, and that's what the company is accustomed to.
Yeah, Jim, I had a superstar guest with us, golly, about a month and a half ago, a guy named Gordon Hirsch, who was visiting with us. He had been on the PR side, helping to launch Broadway at the Beach back in the early 90s. And he talked about there was a time where Doug Wendell was constantly saying, why doesn't everyone know what we're doing? Well, what's happening? And Gordon would say, they'll know when it opens. They'll know this is the biggest thing it's going to impact everything.
Exactly.
They'll know when it opens. Just don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. And obviously, opening day with cars up and down 17 for beyond vision. I mean, you couldn't see how far up and down. And I guess it's that way now. If you thought about 20 years ago, is that how all of you guys, developers are thinking that way? When are they going to see it?
You really have to, because it's a long process. It's not something that you decide to build something and it's open next year. I mean, it takes a lot of planning and a lot of thought and a lot of just insight into what the market may become. Right. And that was Grand Dunes. I mean, there was never a market there for the things that we're doing at Grand Dunes, but as we knew that the people with money were coming here and wanted that product, and took that leap of faith, and it worked out great.
It's amazing, Jim. How exciting! Well, of course, there's just small little pockets of communities down in Myrtleton. There's a little dirt road, Ori Drive, that has a heck of a lot of folks. I actually live down on Ori Drive, so I see all these folks, and you hear them talk about Burrs and Chapin. It is an amazing family. It really is a family-owned.
It really is.
Family-owned company,
and a family environment.
And it's got to be. And it's got to be. Jim, of course, you talked a little bit about that development and beginning to end. When y'all are working all this with city permitting, and do you have to work with counties and states?
Certainly. I mean, if the land is in the county, we work with Horry County in this case. But certainly from DHEC to Department of Natural Resources to OCRM to it's a myriad of agencies that you have to go through, and it's very important to get all that done before you get started.
That aspect, of course, y'all recently have been expanding into so many areas outside of O'Reilly. Expanding. Surely you had that opportunity up in Columbia, and not sure where that is, but y'all, Tennessee and Canada. I mean, what are some of the things y'all are involved in right now? And again, we got to get back to segue on the Heart Walk.
Money for the Heart Walk, right? But it's an exciting time. The NASCAR speed parks have just grown rapidly. As you mentioned, we're going international. We're going to open Toronto, Canada in fall of next year, probably. Actually, the first segment of it fall of this year. So St. Louis, we just opened, Charlotte. So we're rapidly expanding that, and as we do that, we're looking for other opportunities in those areas.
Yeah, so you all have, this is in partnership with NASCAR.
That's correct.
Burrs and Chapin's in partnership with NASCAR.
It's a great partner to have right now, too.
Yeah, of course. In Fox, we love NASCAR.
Yeah,
we got the Daytona
course.
500 in February with the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. We got a big year coming up. Well, you know, the excitement, of course, when you think about the Heart Walk, and for you, when you're trying to encourage someone to commit as a sponsor, what are some of the things you're sharing with them? Do you have a personal interest in the American Heart Association, Jim?
Sure. I mean, my grandfather had 3 heart attacks before he was 50 years old, and it's something that every family has to deal with. Last year, I wasn't feeling that well. Went in to see an internist. He said, you need a stress test. I felt like everything was fine because I really wasn't feeling that bad, or certainly had no heart discomfort at all. Went in and certainly they found out I had a blockage and put a stent in, and went in on Friday and was back on Monday. And without that kind of, who knows what would have happened if I hadn't have done that. So one message to all the viewers would be to get a checkup and listen to what's going on with your body, because if you don't, bad things can happen. But heart disease is the #1 killer in the country. Everybody's affected by it. So that's why I got involved in this Heart Walk, because it's something that's real personal to me. And as I talk to the sponsors, that everybody's been affected by heart disease one way or the other, and this is a great way to give the money back. The Heart Association is a great organization. They use 75% of the money goes into research. So without that kind of research, you don't have the drugs, the cholesterol lowering drugs, and the type of procedures they have. It's just saving millions of lives.
We're talking the #1 killer and the #3 killer. The American Heart Association also covers the American Stroke Association.
Right.
So #1 and #3 killer in America are covered by the dollars that are raised at this Heart Walk. When someone hears $200,000 goal, they're like, I can't be a part of that. I'm not going to make a dent in it. But every dollar can really matter.
Oh, exactly. From $10 just to walk in the event to however much we can raise. We have sponsors, Better Blue and the Herald are large sponsors of this event. We appreciate that. Burrs and Chapin is a sponsor, and we have Coca-Cola and some other people like that that are, and I don't want to leave anybody out.
No, we got Ori Electric and Burrs and Chapin and Santee Cooper each at $5,000. That's a huge commitment from companies. Of course, the Red Cap Survivor sponsor with Beach Ford, Lincoln, Mercury, Volvo, and then Coca-Cola as a big official beverage sponsor.
Right.
So many other silver and bronze and amazing other levels of sponsorships. There's lots of room for more sponsors.
No question. And if anybody's listened to the program, we're going to show the phone number later for the Heart Association.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And it's important. For $500, you can get your business sponsorship on the back of the T-shirt that's going to be presented to all the walkers.
For $500,
right?
That's it.
So that's a minimal amount to put towards that. Of course, we have anything up to $17,000 too, I guess. But for $500, right here within a month, we can make that happen.
And the Herald and Better Blue said they'd be willing to take second fiddle if someone will come in over $17,500. I mean, they're happy to give up that thing, or even if someone came in at that amount. I mean, they're happy to share that. You want the biggest bucks. Oftentimes you'll hear about someone say, I want exclusivity, and that's important for certain categories. But if someone wants exclusivity, particularly media, oftentimes the media will say, I want exclusivity. They're not interested in that charity. They're interested in themselves if they're looking for that. I mean, you really need to have everyone involved supporting an event.
Exactly.
Everyone involved.
Exactly. And that's what I've been so impressed with is the local Heart Association and how they do come together. It's such a great group, and this has been ongoing for 13, 14 years now, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Jim, one thing you may not have known, the Waccamaw division, this division, the one you're talking about, Horry and Georgetown County, netted more dollars last year than any division in South Carolina. Columbia, Greenville, Florence, Charleston. This one in Horry and Georgetown County, these two counties netted more dollars, $560-some thousand net went to the Mid-Atlantic affiliate, the 4.5-state affiliate here.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and we can do better than that this year. And it just shows you how when people come together and work together, what you can do.
Jim, Tony Cox's co-chair, Pat Al, was with us last Friday before last, and he said, if we raise $2 million, it's not enough.
No.
It's not enough. And you're so right. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. You know, you think about so many things you've been involved in. I know you had said, Jim, it was so important for you. It was after that Heart Association luncheon that you said you were having the little things you wanted to get checked out.
Yeah, yeah.
You just never know when something's going to come up.
You never know, and prevention is much better than having to deal with it when it happens.
Mm-hmm. We've got 5 minutes, Jim. What are some of the reasons why? I mean, obviously, we just laid that out. Number one, number three killer. Research is important. But what are some of the benefits, potential benefits that sponsors could get? Obviously, there's a lot of media exposure. There are 2,500 walkers out there. When you were talking about $500 to get on a T-shirt, I mean, that's these people. If they're raising money, they're good.
Well, it's probably the cheapest advertising you can get.
Yeah.
For something like that, because it is direct marketing, and people do look at those T-shirts, and they do take an interest in who's contributing to the cause. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we're going to have fun that day. That's the main thing. It's got to be fun. It's going to be a lot of events happening around there. So for sponsors, they can have a presence at Broadway that day, you know, and hand out literature. And maybe I'm overstepping my bounds here, but certainly it provides a captive audience for you for one day, and it should be a great return on the investment.
Oh, absolutely. And the most exciting thing, Jim, is today is September 16th. We're talking a month from today, October 16th. Being out there, you can get out there early. There's the Fall Fitness Festival that Loris Community Hospital puts on. Obviously, the excitement of being out there, just to be out to get into Ripley's, and surely that $10 donation, and all $10 of that Ripley's given back to the Art Association.
Exactly.
There's no price you got to pay to walk, but if you raise $100 or more, you get that T-shirt.
That's right.
You get that T-shirt, and with so many folks committing just to be out there. Last year, I think Tammy talked about having 2,500 walkers, only 680 folks raise money. So there's that much room, and also there's a $1,000 cash bonus for the person who raised the most. The individual last year, those amounts were around $3,500. We had $1,000 to $500 donation or cash thing, but to raise $1,000 and only have to, I mean, to get $1,000, only have to raise $3,500 or more.
Yeah, and it's something that it's easy to do. I mean, you just got to go out, take the time, do it, and show up and have fun. It's going to be a great event. With Margaritaville, it's going to start and end at Margaritaville. They've got a great area there under the lighthouse. They're going to be having fun. They'll have the balloon stilt walkers there, so it's going to be a big day.
Now, Jim, obviously we got a month left. You've got another 15 or so thousand, 20,000 you got to raise. Are there still incentives? I mean, are there still benefits that potential sponsors can get? And are there some areas, if a viewer was interested in helping out, could they get in touch with you if they could give you an idea of their company that may want to be involved?
Sure. I think probably the best thing is to call Tammy Eves at the American.
843-626-3939.
That's right. And she can get in touch with us, and we'll follow up quickly on that. Of course, you mentioned it's only 30 days left, but we can do a lot in 30 days. Yeah. We're certainly going to hit our goal, and anybody that can contribute to that and make us exceed it would be greatly appreciated.
Mm-hmm. Jim, think back to growing up in Newberry and the excitement for you, and obviously see it, your grandfather in the hotel business, your dad in the dentistry. Did you ever think about becoming a dentist?
Actually, no.
Really?
Actually, and I've got three brothers that and certainly we thought about it, but dentistry is a great profession, but it's pretty confining, and I always like to be outside and do things, do a lot of different things, and that's what the development business led me to do.
Where are your three brothers now? Do you have sisters as well?
No, just
Four
three
boys,
brothers.
Yeah. Poor mom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who just turned 70 last week.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
We had a big birthday party for her.
Yeah.
But you know, two of them are still in the Columbia area, one in Charlotte. So we all stayed pretty close to home.
In the Carolinas, yeah. That's exciting.
It's a great place to live.
Is your mom still in Newberry?
Yes.
So you get over there a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, very exciting. When you think about, I was thinking when you think back to Newberry, and obviously spent a lot of time in Columbia working for Duke Energy, Duke Power. The excitement for you now to see where you are with a family-owned company here and out on the road a lot, Jim. You're out and about. Well,
and Doug talks about Providence all the time, and I think it is providential to be in Myrtle Beach at this time and have the opportunities that we all have here. It's a great place to live. It's a great place for me to be.
Lastly, Jim, what's your biggest inspiration? Who inspires you the most, or what inspires you the most?
That's a great question. I mean, certainly you have to look to your faith and how that fits into your daily life. I think that's paramount over everything. But Doug is a great inspiration to all the employees at Burrs and Chapin, and his leadership really is exciting. And we look to him for guidance, and he provides great leadership.
That's great. Jim, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Jim Wiseman coming up next. When you sit back and think about the number 1 and number 3 killers in America, it makes you think about prioritizing your time, prioritizing your life. We're visiting with a guy who's lived his entire life in the Carolinas. He knows how to prioritize. You heard the answer of inspiration. Number 1 is his God. It's easy to end an interview with that, but he wraps up and follows up with his boss as a big inspiration. You think of that. His boss raised $74,000 last year as sponsorship chairman of this same Heart Walk, which far surpassed its goal, 50-some% over goal. Jim Wiseman's goal, obviously now $75,000. The same boss that gives him the inspiration on a daily basis, along with his God, is given an inspiration to blow by the goal. We're very excited to have him on board. Jim Wiseman.